What are you hearing from market participants about why oil is so much lower, considering we still have all these geopolitical tensions? Is it simply the dollar?
I think the dollar is absolutely part of the story, but the other thing I'm hearing from commodity traders is the markets are sort of bored. They're sort of exhausted. There's a sense of complacency out there, and there are those who still think that crude oil, at least in the Brent market, if not TI, should be up to about $200 a barrel.
Really?
Based on over time, a lack of spare capacity and continuing concerns about geopolitical risks taking oil production offline. But we've seen some of that this summer, and there's been little or no impact. So the notion today is, why are people going to start carrying now? I mean, as one person put it to me somewhat dryly, of course, if there's not a nuclear war over the weekend, it feels like oil's going to open lower on Monday.
Mr. Gayadami, trader, sir, what do you make of the first trading day of September?
Is that my man, Bill? Is that you, Bill?
Yeah, that is me here, bud.
Welcome back, man. I miss
Thank you.
What do
How
I
you
make
been?
of the biggest, well, obviously oil notwithstanding, I thought the move in the bond market was really fascinating. I mean, that's the biggest one-day down move I've seen in quite some time. I've been a bond bull. I think rates are still headed significantly lower, but this move in the bond market today can't be discounted. So I think you got a couple more days of weakness there. Obviously, the dollar strength is something to look at as well. The equity market, to me, not event today.
What's amazing about what you just said, Guy, is the 10-year's at 2.4%.
Right. No. Hey, listen, MCC, 100%, no question. But you have to admit, that was a pretty large move today in the bond market.
Yeah, agreed.
Michael, do you see the dollar continuing higher here? What's going to push it? Because that has taken a toll here on gold and oil and some of the other commodities.
I don't think there's any question the dollar continues to head higher simply because the euro and the yen are headed lower. We've got central banks that are on a very different cycle. The Fed is starting to wind up the most aggressive part of its policy, whereas you've got the ECB still accelerating, and you've got the Bank of Japan continuing to do quantitative easing on a much bigger scale than even we were doing. So what's to hold the dollar down?
Nathan, I'm hearing so much more about this ECB meeting on Thursday instead of the employment report on Friday, which normally that would never be the case. But are we so dependent on seeing Europe do something to weaken that euro?
You know something, Michelle? 500 million people in an economic unit will do that to you. They'll get your attention sometime. Now, you got to remember the Kansas City meeting, which takes place in Jackson Hole, which is a really smart thing for the Kansas City governors to do. Draghi came out and said, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Let's remember that Angela Merkel said, I think he's been over-interpreted. In other words, we're going to go back in the back room. We're going to have a little discussion about this. I think global demand is down, and you can thank Europe for that, and you can thank the raising of taxes in Japan for that. And the dollar is strong. It's going to stay strong. We're the best.
You're talking about oil right now when you say.
Well, I'm talking about everything. And by the way, gold, get rid of your gold for a while. Gold is going nowhere. And I think rates, when we get to see a 2.6 to a 2.8 on the 10-year Treasury, I would actually start going long. Because I don't think we can go out and forget all this terminal rate stuff and where the Fed rate's going. I don't think we can see rates go much higher before we're going to start to see the Fed goes, gosh, we really can't raise rates nearly